It is, of course, Airpako EKSE Live. It's hashtag Talk Thursday. And I'm glad we're talking about some issues that affect us as a Bantabasha up in South Africa. And now it's time for the presenters to get up close and personal with you guys at home. The topic for today is abandonment. And we are unpacking how abandonment is, of course, affecting our own personal lives and how it's affecting the lives of you viewers at home. So please make sure that you keep the conversation going. Go on our social media pages. It's EKSE Live on Instagram, Facebook, and of course on Twitter. But for now, Lauren and Sibu,
yes,
we want to find out from you guys, and myself included, that have you guys ever been affected by abandonment? Have you ever been abandoned?
Lauren?
That's such a broad...
I had to start for a second.
I think we passed it to you.
I think rephrasing the question a bit is like experiencing abandonment, right? It's obviously so like asking somebody, have you ever been abandoned? It's a big question to ask. But if you think about it, like there's a lot that happens when you're younger that people don't realize. Like I know friends, for example, and you guys probably know as well, that are very clingy in relationships. Yeah. Usually those people that are clingy now were abandoned when they were younger, and that's why they're so desperate to hold on to that partner, hold on to a family member. If I think about it, I was very privileged and very blessed that when my parents, for example, were getting divorced, if they didn't do it the right way, if they didn't talk to me and send me to a child psychologist, things like that, I very easily could have abandonment issues. And maybe in some ways, you know, maybe there are little signs. But I think I was very lucky that in that moment where it could have been, you know, a sign of my future to come, my parents were like, okay, we need to tell you it's not your fault. We're not abandoning you. We still love you. We just don't love each other anymore as parents. We're still your parents, you know, those kinds of things. And I'm not an expert, but it's things like that that make me think like how smart my parents were, how they took the right approach. And it makes me think as well, we love these daddy issue jokes. But like people...
They are serious. They are serious things that we joke about. And I think for me, on my personal experience, oh my gosh, okay. So
being vulnerable
today. We are ripping and layering everything. So I was raised by a single parent, right? My parents divorced when I was very young. I don't remember their divorce, but as I grew older, you know, when you're still young, you don't really pick up on the things that are going around you, you know, because I could see when I was in primary that why do my friends have both their parents living at home and I only have my mother living at home and my father's living at a whole new other location? Why can't my parents live together? But those are things that I didn't really take to my mind. I didn't really take them seriously at that time.
So young,
because I was young and I didn't really understand, you know, that my parents were separated because no one had actually spoken to me about it and explained that, you know what, we're going through a divorce or we have divorced, you know, but
we are. Approach
you understand?
Well, right?
So then I was totally oblivious to that until I grew older now, and that's when, you know, as much as my mom is a wonderful mother, you know, she did everything that she could to make sure that I am the person that I am today, but there's always going to be that longing for a father, you know, and my father was like, you know, he wasn't present, you know, he wasn't present.
We spoke about this earlier.
He wasn't present, you know, for the early stages of my life. So I really did deal with a lot of abandonment issues because I was like, why can't you be a father to me? You know, why can't you, you know, fetch me from school? You know, because you know, the worst thing for me, I think, is the lack of communication. You know,
100%.
I'm about to be really vulnerable right now, né? But there'll be times where my father would tell me that, you know what, no, I'm gonna come fetch you after school, and he wouldn't come. I would cry so much.
That's like peak abandonment.
I would cry so much because as a child, I am super excited that my father's coming to fetch me. I'm going to go see my father. Next thing, he doesn't pop up. And I'm there with my bag, I'm ready to go.
And you're excited to see
I'm
Dad.
at the gate waiting to see my father. And my father just never pitched. So I think,
I think I would relate. We closely have like similar stories with what we went through, because I can say the same thing when it comes to like my parents with how they handled the marriage being over, because we lived in a house where
all three parents are children of divorce.
Yes.
So it's normal. If your parents are divorced, it's normal. It's okay.
Yes. Because what happened was I grew up being exposed to a lot of violence with my dad being who he was. So when my mom actually decided to take the decision of actually being like, nah, I can't take this anymore. I'm taking my kids with me. So throughout the whole thing with what you are saying, Mihlali, where there were promises that were made even after the separation, because the approach was never there. I think I would have liked it and appreciated if there was an approach to saying, okay, listen, Sibu, we're no longer doing this. But yeah, it was that. But yeah, it happens.
Props to your mom for
It is
getting
what
out of
it
a
is.
toxic situation.
Yeah.
Props to
Shout
mom.
out to you, my mom. I love you, mom.
Mama
Makgate,
was sending love to Mama, but of course it is also very important that as we're dealing with the abandonment issues and we also just try to navigate life, that we also reach out and we seek for help, right?
Yes.
So the question that we want to
100%.
pose to you guys today is that, have you guys ever helped someone that was dealing with abandonment issues? How did you do it? And also, if you know of any organizations rather, or whatever help that people can go out there and seek for, please do make sure that you share it with us on all of our social media pages, because there are us and I really need to find, we really need to make sure we are dealing with these problems and we are seeking for help.